Hello, this is Jeff Kim once again from the eKadence headquarters and learning so much here. And this is going out to you interns, those of you who are planning to be interns or getting internships. These are some tips that I learned from the eKadence team, advice for you. So here's the first piece of advice I'm gonna give to you. Number one, ask questions, ask questions. So sometimes, do you ever go into a class and the teacher asks, like, does anyone have any questions? Are you the type of person to raise your hand and ask questions? Well, here at eKadence are saying, you know what? It's great to ask questions. Asking questions is helpful. Asking questions to learn is helpful. For those of you in my class, you know that I have that moment in class where I have that hashtag ask me a question, where you discuss with one another a question that you have, whether you do or don't, you're asking each other questions, right? And then asking whole group. But there's a lot of power in asking questions. And by the way, if you're ever in an interview for a job and the last question is oftentimes, do you have any questions? You always want to ask a question, all right? So this ability to ask questions is so powerful. Sometimes in asking the question, it opens doors to so much like learning that you would have never expected had you not asked questions. So do you have any questions? Yes, I hope you do. Now, the second is writing with purpose. So in the past video where I shared out a little summary on what I learned, we talked about emails and the importance of emails and how folks in the workforce were writing so many emails with purpose and clarity. You got to be organized with writing your emails, professional. So that's very regular. But another piece of information was our need to write with purpose. So I know that sometimes in our classes we're talking about like critical analysis, we're talking about Hamlet, things like that. But let's also learn how to write with purpose. Very clearly, I know in my class we do a lot of narrative writing, storytelling, telling our stories. So writing our messaging out what it is that we want to say in a way that's clear, that's in a way that's interesting, story, and for the purpose that it's been tasked for. And then finally, the last piece of advice I'm gonna give you is if you want an internship, there's a big question that they're asking that they might not actually ask you. And that question is, do you mesh? Do you work well with this team? That is a question that maybe they're really deeply thinking about as they're talking with you. So if you're in an interview or you're in an internship is kind of like a long-term interview. So you want to make sure that you're making the best impression possible and to be your authentic self, but to be your best authentic self, because the question they're asking is, do you mesh with us? Do you get along with everybody? And this reminds me of my class and the C of communication and the C of collaboration and the C of compassion. Are you practicing that now in middle school and high school? Because that's definitely, and those are skills that you're going to be using later in your future career. So you definitely want to be practicing that and exercising that every day. When you're working in teams, are you the person that is getting along with everybody and getting things done? Or are you the person that's a little difficult, that no one wants to work with? Well, I'll tell you, in the workforce, that's not going to be tolerated. You want to be the person that is getting along with everybody and definitely getting the work done as well. And that's why I think it's also helpful to get that broad experience in addition to the 5 C's on like culture, language, ethnic studies, history, because you never know how you're going to be able to connect with another person. And so you want to be a broad-minded kind of person so that you can connect with a broad audience. Hope these tips are helpful for you. That's advice that I got that I want to share with you so that you can find out what you're good at so that you can do good with it.